you assume are given, and they can take the values true, 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 false, false, true, and false, false. And so, the easy one, probably known to all of you, is the AND, P and Q. And P and Q is a new proposition, so this in total is one new proposition. This is true, false, 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 in the cases where this is true, this is true, this is true, and so on. Now, there are a whole number of others. You can quickly calculate if for these four rows, you can in each row decide whether you put a true or a false. You have 2 to the 4 equals 16 binary operators. Yes?
So you're talking about operator slash object that translates one proposition into another one, but not to the construction of proposition into the operator.
That's right. So a binary operator takes one proposition and constructs from it a new proposition. That's the notion of an operator. It takes 2 variables from the set. So it goes, if you would say, from the Cartesian product of the set true false with the set true false to the set true false. It's a map. However, I'm not saying it this way because we don't know yet what the set is. We don't know yet what a Cartesian product is. This is an elementary representation of this. One can do this even more abstractly and just write down deduction rules. Never write down such a table and write down deduction rules. This is the even more abstract way of doing this. I didn't choose it because it has no purpose whatsoever if you do standard logic. If you do non-standard logic, like intuitionist logic, then you reduce certain deduction rules, and then you get a logic that you can no longer express with these tables. Okay? And, well, that is very esoteric. I don't say it's not interesting. I find it very interesting, but every course has to define its bottom line. And so this course defines the bottom line as not writing down proposition logic using deduction rules and axioms, but rather presenting the tables, because it's really sufficient for what we're going to do. Okay. So now there are a number of others. There's the OR, there's the exclusive OR, and so on. So the P or Q, you know, this is true, 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 false. The exclusive OR is false, true, true, false, and so on. In medieval ages, people were discussing whether the OR that appears in a sentence actually means the inclusive OR or the exclusive OR, and obviously they appealed to the Bible in order to see how God used it. It was actually, again, Wittgenstein and Frege and others who, more or less around the turn of the century to the 20th century, said, no, hang on, it's just a table, it's just a definition. You have 16 binary operators, each of them maybe deserve their name or not. You have 16 of them, you have the inclusive OR, you have the exclusive OR, and so on. Now this is all child's play, and you've seen this before. But I go to such length in writing this down because there is one binary operator which sometimes is a little ill understood unless you're maybe very knowledgeable about these things, and that's an implication arrow. So from school days, we use this implication arrow as saying, I write down something that's true, and now I do something valid, and then I may write down this implication arrow, and that means I did something okay. Now, the implication arrow, as much as the AND, is a binary operator that takes a proposition and another proposition and makes one new proposition out of it. So this whole thing, P implies Q, is in total true or false. When is it true, when is it false? From true follows true, this is evaluated to be true. From true follows false, no, mistake, you don't pass the test. From false follows true, you say no. Well, yes, you should write a T here, that's at least the definition. And from false follows false, well, that must be certainly wrong, because no, it is not, it's also true. Now, this is the definition of the implication arrow, and this is why I go to such great length about this. Well, this principle that from a false assumption, you can conclude anything, and the whole thing is evaluated to be true, deserves a name which the principle has been in place for a long time. So the principle is called, in Latin, ex falso quod libet. Roughly translated, it means from a false assumption, you can conclude whatever you like, ex falso quod libet, and these first two, they're kind of intuitive. Now the question is, why on earth would you define the implication arrow like this? And the answer is hidden in a little theorem. It's very simply proven. The theorem is P implies Q. This statement, I put it in brackets, is actually equivalent to, now the equivalence arrow we haven't defined, I defined it here on the left-hand side, P equivalent Q is true if both are true, false if one of them is not and the other is, and true again if both are false. P implies Q is an equivalent statement to, now, simple, not Q implies not P. So the order, if you put the not in front, the order is exchanged, and because I didn't tell you about the binding strings yet, you may be careful to put brackets around here. Now, this looks funny, it's quickly proven, we'll do it in a second, but the important thing about this logical mumbo-jumbo is the corollary. This actually means we can prove assertions by way of contradiction. assume we know that P is true, or it's the assumption that P is true, and we want to prove that then Q is true. What we can do instead, which is fully equivalent, is to assume that what we want to prove is not true, and to prove that that means that the assumption isn't true. Then we say, oh, contradiction, so Q must have been true. Well, this is what it says. So this statement says you can prove assertions by way of contradiction. It's a very elementary principle, a very sharp tool of mathematics. Now coming back to your question about these tables and what map this is such an operator, if you formulate logic in terms of these deduction rules and axioms without a table, you could logically remove certain deduction rules, and one of them that you can remove, such that the whole thing cannot be written down by tables anymore, would be one that destroys this theorem. And then you would have a logic, and build on it, you would have a type of mathematics where proofs by contradiction are no longer allowed. You probably in any good mathematics department will find one professor who follows that kind of, I think they call it intuitionist logic, and it's a pain because the course takes double as long as you do. Because you have to constructively prove everything you want to prove, and some people make a strong point that is very meaningful. It's certainly a better result if you know something constructively, but they make an even deeper point. They say we do not trust the proofs by contradiction. Anyway, we're not going into that. With our definition, we have logic that allows proofs by contradiction, essentially by this definition. So how do you prove such a thing? Well, this is important for the first vanilla problem in exam, where of course you use the table to construct P, Q, you construct not P, not Q, so true, 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 false, false, true, false, 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 true, true, false, true, false, true, and then you write down P implies Q, and you know this from before, it's true, false, true, true, you write down not Q implies not P, or you construct this from here, false implies false is true, true implies false is false, false implies true, is true, as far as we it, and true implies true is certainly also true. So we have true, false, true, 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 false, true, true. Wonderfully, these two columns are equivalent to exactly the statement up here. This is the proof of such statements by way of writing down out in full the table, the truth table. Okay. So there are certain remarks in order. So remark 1, we agree on decreasing binding strength in the sequence decreasing. Okay, not is very strong and is not so strong, or is even less. Then we have an implication arrow, and then we have an equivalence arrow. Okay, so if you have more symbols, you need to extend the sequence. However, the question is how many operators do you actually need? Well, we had a few unary ones, we had a few binary ones. Well, what about higher order operators? Remark 2, higher order operators, say the operator heart shape, that each P1 to Pn statement, so would be an operator of order n, or unary operators obviously of order 1, binary operators of order 2. Higher order operators, heart shape, can be constructed, or I should say all higher order operators can be constructed from one single, not only higher, but any order n, from one single binary operator. And it's the so-called NAND operator, P, Q. I write down the table of the NAND operator, P. So let's have an up arrow